In Borderline, Samara Weaving plays a 90s pop star who is currently dating a NBA player played by Jimmy Warden. A sociopath played by Ray Nicholson is obsessed with the 90s superstar, and he constantly goes to her home to stalk her because he thinks that they're in a relationship and he wants to marry her. One night when he visits her home, he gets into an altercation with her bodyguard played by Eric Dane, and he stabs the bodyguard, and Eric Dane ends up in hospital, and Ray Nicholson gets arrested and put in a mental hospital. 6 months later, Ray Nicholson escapes from the mental hospital with another woman played by Alba Baptista, and they come up with a plan to get inside Samara Weaving's house and get Ray to marry her. Borderline is directed by Jimmy Warden, and this film is his directorial debut. Jimmy was also married to the star of this film, Samara Weaving. I don't know where to start with this film. I was a little bit skeptical because this film finished filming almost 2 years ago. It's been sitting on the shelf for such a long time, and it has a good cast and good producer, produced by Margot Robbie. And so like, what's going on? And then it gets dumped in like March of this year, and didn't debut at any like major festival like Toronto or Sundance or South by Southwest. So I had pretty low expectations going to this film, and I can see why they're trying to quietly dump this film. The film doesn't get off to a good start, where the first opening scene of the film is Ray Nicholson's social party goes to Samara Weaving's house to see her. I don't think she's home at the time, but Eric Dane's security guard is there, and they get into an altercation. But this scene doesn't ring true because Eric Dane just treats him like some poor, like he feels sorry for him. But you can see, as a viewer, you can see this Ray Nicholson's character is clearly not mentally there. Like, he just tells him to, okay, just go home, I won't call the police. And then he ends up stabbing him, and it's just like, he could have avoided that whole situation if he treated Ray Nicholson's character more seriously. Like, Ray Nicholson doesn't come off as funny or charming at all. He just comes off as some crazy guy. So that opening scene just felt so crazy and unrealistic. And Ray Nicholson's character in this film just doesn't come off as charming or amusing. He just comes off as crazy, and you feel bad for him. And I don't understand what the film is trying to get us to do. Like, is he trying to get us to laugh with him, feel sorry for him? He's supposed to be charming, we're supposed to be on his side. I don't understand, and I don't really feel bad. I don't really think it's Ray Nicholson's fault. He just doesn't get much to do. His character is so underwritten. He disappears for stretches of the film. Like, he's in that opening scene of the film, and then he disappears for about half an hour, and then when he escapes from the mental institution, his friends help him escape, and then he jumps into the getaway car, and then after that quick scene he disappears again for like half an hour, and then we see him again when he breaks into Samara Weaving's house, and we just see him briefly then, and then we see him and disappears for like 20 minutes, and then at the end of the film, the final wedding scene, we see him at the end of the film. So he disappears for stretches of the film, and when we do see him, he just plays like the same notes, like, oh, I want to marry Samara Weaving, I'm crazy, I keep getting other people confused for like, it's just, I don't understand his character. There's so many characters in this film. Like, Samara Weaving, she comes off as this very unlikable pop star. We don't feel bad for her at all. Her character is so underwritten. She is dating this like NBA basketball player, but we find that she's made a list of all these famous people she wants to have a relationship with, and she comes off as so entitled, and her character is another one I don't understand. Like, we're not supposed to. She's not funny. She's not charming. She just comes off so obnoxious, unlikable pop star. And there's a whole bunch of characters who are in this film, and they're all underwritten and not funny and not engaging. Like this, for example, there's one one police officer who he in his spare time he likes to audition for acting roles, and he doesn't take when people call him for help, he doesn't take it very seriously. He just tells them, "Oh, sorry, I can't help you. I have an audition tomorrow," and then he starts. It's just a character is way off. And then Eric Dane, he has like a wife or aunt and a daughter, and they're in the film, and I don't understand why they're in the film. They're not used at all. And we have Ray Nicholson's friend who helps him escape from prison. He's underwritten, and then there's the woman who escapes from the mental institution with him as well. Like, she's a Portuguese actress, but she's playing a French woman in this film. Why is she French? Why is she in the mental institution? And she does all these wacky things. She helps Ray Nicholson kill many people. And then halfway through the film, Eric Dane gets killed halfway through the film, and then it's like he's probably the only normal person in this film, the only person that we feel any sympathy for in this film, and he gets killed halfway through the film, and that kind of like zaps any energy away from the film. So basically, when he's dead, we have no one to root for, because everybody in this film is just so unlikable and crazy. The tone of this film is just all over the place. It's basically just going for a laugh. There's no dramatic elements to this film at all, because it doesn't give us any. So it's just the humor falls flat throughout the whole film. There's like 90s pop songs scattered throughout the film, just to try and convince us that maybe we're actually having a good time, but actually it's just a facade. The final scene of the film, where Ray Nicholson tries to get Samara Weaving to get her to marry him. Like, constantly throughout the film, Ray Nicholson keeps getting other people confused for Samara Weaving, and that's supposed to be funny. Like all of these other people just try and go along with it because he's like dangerous and he has a knife and he could go off the rails. And at the end of the film, Ray Nicholson gets the NBA basketball player confused for Samara Weaving, and he ends up in a wedding dress, and he tries to marry her, and that's not funny. It just comes off as sad and crazy. And I give Borderline 1 star out of 5. This film just doesn't work at all. It's not funny. All of the characters are unlikable. The only sympathetic character in this film gets killed halfway through the film, and even though he does end up coming back at the end of the film, but it's just all of the humor falls flat. I didn't understand what this film was going for. Ray Nicholson's psycho character disappears for stretches of the film, and he's just so just comes off as unfunny and crazy. And Samara Weaving in this film comes off as obnoxious and unlikable. This film just didn't work for me at all. I can't recommend this film at all. It's such a flat comedy, I guess. What did you think of Borderline? Please comment below what you thought of the film. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.